negative number, the rules. Last video we looked at the rule where you add and subtract, where there are symbols touching in between the numbers. So for example, if you had two addition symbols, so it might be 4 plus positive 5, it had the same effect as adding. So if you look at the box on the left hand side, we've got a simplified version of those rules. If you need an explanation, please go back and watch that video. We're going to use those rules today together with a negative and positive number line on the right hand side of the screen, but this one's drawn out vertically, a bit like a thermometer, to make it easier to see. So how do these rules and tools help us? Well, let's have a look at a sum as an example. We have 3 take away negative 4. As you can see, we have two symbols touching. That's where we use the touching rules. Two negatives have the same effect as adding. So what we now have is 3 plus 4. If we go over to our number line, we look at the 3. Adding goes up, so we move up, and that gives us an answer of 7. We know that 3 plus 4 is 7, but that just shows you how we use a number line. So let's have another example. We've got 5 plus minus 10. Once again, we have two symbols touching, so we go to the box at the top. These are different symbols, so when they're different symbols, you have a negative effect. So that becomes 5 minus 10. So on our number line, we've started at 5. When you're subtracting 10, when you're minusing 10, you go down. So you go down by 10, but it settles at minus 5, and that's your answer. Let's have a look at another example. This time we've got minus 6 minus positive 4. Now the two we're interested in initially are the ones between the numbers, and we do have two symbols touching, so once again we need to use the touching rule. And when they are different, so we've got a negative and a positive, it has a negative effect. So it becomes minus 6 minus 4. Now don't be put off by the minus in the front of the 6. That just helps us identify where we start on a number line. So we've got minus 6 where the arrow is pointing to, and minus 4 means we're going to go down further. So we're going to move down by 4, which will give us minus 10. And one more example. Now we've got minus 10 plus 4. We do have a negative and we do have a positive, but we don't have any touching symbols, which means that we do not use the touching rule. There's no need, it's simplified enough. So this time we simply start at minus 10, which we can see on the number line, and as we're adding a 4, we're moving up towards the 0, but not quite reaching there. So we've got minus 6 as our answer. So there are some examples of how you use the touching symbols rule and a vertical number line to help you solve the problems.